Okay, so number 3, what we're going to do is they just turned it facing you, but you can still think of the bases as like the top and the bottom. So they're trying to trick you on this one a little bit. They gave you an equilateral triangle because all the sides are marked the same. So that means that it's 5, 5, 5, okay? Now that's great because you need the sides to find the area of the rectangles, but you still need the height of the triangle in order to figure out the area of the triangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line to find our height, make it perpendicular with our base, so we're going to cut this in half basically. So half of 5 is 2.5, so this is 2.5. Have a hypotenuse of 5 and we're trying to find the height. So we're going to do 2.5 squared plus x squared equals 5 squared. 6.25 plus x squared equals 25. You're going to subtract 6.25 and you get 18.75. Take the square root of both sides, and that doesn't give us a perfect square root, so we're just going to leave it as square root of 18.75. So that's your height of this triangle. So when you find the area of the base, you're going to do 1/2 times the base. Now remember, you want the whole triangle, so the base this time is actually 5. And then you're going to do the height, which is the square root of 18.75. So when you multiply all that together, you get 10.83 inches squared. So that's the area of your two bases. Okay, so now we're going to go around and do the rectangles. So what's great about this with an equilateral triangle is the width for each rectangle is 5, and then the height is still 8. So we're just going to do 5 times 8 3 times, which gives you 40. Add those 3 together, you get 120. And then add the two base heights, or areas. So you're going to do plus 10.83 plus 10.83. When you add that all together, you get 141.66 inches squared. Okay, so the only tricky part was you had to figure out the height of the equilateral triangle, and then the rest of it's pretty simple. Alright, so moving on, so example 2, and the rest of the problems for today are about cylinders. Okay, so you need to know how to find the area of a circle, and then figure out what's going on around a cylinder. So the base of cylinders are circles. Okay, so to find the area of a circle, you do pi times radius squared. So the radius they gave us in this problem is 8. So you're doing pi times 8 squared. 8 times 8 is 64. And then bring the pi with you. Don't actually multiply out pi yet. So just do 64 pi. That's more accurate. You don't have as many decimals. So 64 pi centimeters squared is the area of the circles. Okay? So to figure out what's going on around a cylinder, okay, one way to think about it, so for example, if you took a can, alright, so you have a cylinder, so to try and figure out what this shape is that's going around, think about like the label on a can, okay? If you took that label off, it just makes a really big rectangle, okay? So the height, or the width of the rectangle is the height of the can, so the height of the cylinder. So for example, our width is going to be 4 in this problem. But if you're trying to find the length of the rectangle, it would be like the top of the paper, and it wraps around the cylinder. So if this paper goes around the whole cylinder, it's going around the outside of the circle. So your circumference of the circle, so the distance around the circle, is the length that you need for the rectangle. Okay? So to find circumference, you do pi times diameter. So the diameter of this problem, so if the radius is 8, diameter would be 16, because you're doing 8 plus 8, okay? So you're doing pi times diameter, so you're just going to leave it at 16 pi. So now to find the area of the rectangle, you're going to do the length, which is this, times the width, so the height of the cylinder. So 16 pi times 4 gives you 64 pi centimeters squared. Alright, so now we're going to add them together. So you get 64 pi centimeters squared here from the side, and then these two come from your circles. Okay, so you're adding 64 3 times, and you get 192 pi centimeters squared. Now I would leave it like that. Leaving it like pi makes it more accurate. Alright, so let's look at what's going on in number 4. So you have this cylinder, it's got a radius of 4, a height of 9. Alright, so the area of the base is going to be pi times the radius, which is 4 squared, so 16 pi. And then your circumference would be pi times 8, because you're adding for the whole distance across here. So you're going to do 8 pi times the 9, so that's like the width of your rectangle. So 8 times 9 is 72. So you're going to do 72 pi meters squared is the area around the outside. And then plus 16 pi for the area of the circles. And you get 104 pi meters squared. Okay, so there's only 2 more problems, then we're done with 12.2.